Hey everybody, Subtac here, and I suppose you're probably wondering what it is I'm doing carrying ladders around the house. Well, let me explain that. You look back there, I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, downspout. I got hooked that into my barrels. The thing about these barrels was I had these planned for a long time, and I actually put them together back when we did the Doomsday Prepper episode. And I rushed them together because that was one of the things that we talked about when we were setting up the show, was to do these barrels that I wanted to do because I'd been planning for it. So they said that'd be cool to see you do it, which I did a lot of the construction of this to get it together before they came so that I could show them how I did it. And we went through a whole lot of footage doing this, but none of it got on the show. But anyways, they have sat here for the past couple of years not being used, and so what I want to do is actually start using them. So let me explain why. Okay, so as you know, the plan is to sell the house so we can get out closer to the bug out land. You know that if you've been paying attention to the channel. If you just came here, that's what's happening. I'm trying to put this house together, renovate it so that I can move out closer to my bug out land, yada yada yada. Like last year I didn't garden at all because I was taking the beds up and stuff like that to get ready. But this year I just can't stand it. I'm going to do some kind of gardening, and so I want to get these hooked up. And I'm going to also build one probably 4x8 bed that I can do the square foot gardening in, and then probably down this row of fence posts I will be using upside down planters. I want to get my rainwater hooked up so I can do that and have good clean water, at least chemical free, at least you would hope. Anyways, let's get to it. Okay, the downspout is a full piece, which isn't unusual. It's just the last one I did on the other side was actually in two pieces. So I'm going to have to actually take that off as a full piece, cut it, and then put the converter in, or diverter I should say, so that I can send water over to the barrels. And then when the barrels get full, it'll continue on down the spout, so we don't have any spillage or weird stuff going on like that. Jet overhead. Anyways, so I gotta pull that off and then we'll start a cut. Two of these. Both of them are fairly dull and don't have any extra blades for some reason. Well, I'm just gonna hack at it until it's done. Now when you're working a file, you want to make sure it's not a saw, it's a file. So you want to go one direction and come back. You don't want to seesaw it on it. You just want one direction. And in this case, we just want to knock off the sharp pieces. Still a little sharpness, but better than it was. All right, next up, the diverter. This is the diverter. It's been around for a couple of years. I used it on the other side of the house for a while. But it's the only one I got, and I want to get things going. I'm pretty sure it's still going to work, even though it is a little worse for wear. I'm probably going to have to get a longer hose for this part to reach from here over to the barrels, but that should be fairly easy to obtain. All right, let's get to it. There you have it. That's top half. All right, so what I'm going to do is reinstall this to the side of the house, put it back together up at the top. Once that's together, then I can hook the bottom half to it. I should probably run some silicone here first, just to make sure that we don't get a bunch of strange leaks and stuff. So I'll do that first. Alright, well that's kind of a messed up job. Silicone is old, so I don't know if it's going to hold or not. On the other hand, it's not all that necessary being there. I just kind of did it as another precaution. But let's go put this piece up. And there you have it in all its glory. Okay, so we've got that part done, and I got to get a new hose to come over to the first barrel. But there's a couple things we need to talk about as far as what has to happen in this system. Of course, 3 tanks. I originally wanted 4 tanks on it, but I'm not going to need that now since I'm going to be moving. But I've got these 3 set up, and this is how it works. Comes in here, all right? Now, if you'll see down there, I'm connected to the next one. And of course, that one is connected to the next one. And everybody knows water is self-leveling. So as it comes in, it starts filling in, and it just self-levels. There's a couple things that you need to have happen to make sure that that works. Now, if you see on the first top over there, of course, where the hose goes into it, so that one's fine, but you can also see behind it there there's a little one of these little things stuck in there, and that just gives it a vent so that as the water comes in, the air presses out. I need to drill these into these as well, so that as the water comes in, the air goes out. Now, this one originally had that in there, but we have learned a great lesson. If you expect this to hang around for any amount of time, you need to build some sort of shade over top of it, because over time, water's setting in it after it rains, and then the sun beating down on it, this acts like a magnifying glass and cooks that thing, and next thing you know, we got a nice split. So I don't know if I'll put some sort of shade over it this year, because, well, yeah, I might need to try to do that anyways, because I do want to salvage these barrels to move when I move. But anyways, that's the system. By the way, it comes out here, and I'm going to make this pipe longer so we have the little spigot will come out down here, so it's easier to get to. You know, if you can see down there how that's working. And there's also these ball valves underneath each one right there, so I can isolate one to work on it if I need to. Let's see this joint here. This joint right here just screws on and off so that you can take it apart if you need to. But you can see when I built the pedestal, I meant it to be strong, and I also meant it to have at least one more, maybe even 2 more barrels. This is like the first barrel I ever got where it was fed on the other side of the house by my diverter there. But this was a bad design, of course, because the water came up to that far and I couldn't get the rest of it out. So that's why I went to the bottom outlet. And I might still be able to plug this and do the same thing, but that's for another place or time. But there's a 6-inch pad under there that I laid, and I did all this in a hurry so that Doomsday could see me putting it together. And then of course got all these blocks mortared together, but when I actually did the shoot, those were not mortared together, they just were stacked like that. I did take footage of mortaring the barrel stand together, which I sped up here for you to watch. I will continue to discuss the water harvesting system in upcoming videos, along with all the other stuff that I have to do. But for now, this footage shows the beginning of the construction of the system. This time lapse represents a several month time span, but with some perseverance, I completed it. So I'm going to end this video here, but I do appreciate you coming by to watch. Well everybody, thanks so much. I appreciate it. This is Subtac. I will talk to you later. Bye bye. Okay, so it's getting cold, but the work must go on. I'm back up here today, and today I'm just going to be going through and putting a bunch of fire breaks in, like go along in there so that we got something to nail the seam up to. Then I'll get this little doorway here framed out. There's going to be a door, kind of a door there, a wide door. Without a door, it's just going to be an entryway, so to speak. But I'm going to get that, try to get that.